I miss the title cards of old cinema. This one really helps absorb the viewer into the fairy tale nature of the story, so it's not just decorative. Even if you don't know the difficulties this film faced getting made, that thank you means a lot. For the first feature-length cel-animated film could only be a labour of passion. I know it was the trend of animation then, but I'm still marginally annoyed at no voice actors getting formal credit. Here's a great detail: the Seven Dwarfs' heads on the cover. It fits, telling us that this is a spin on the classic tale, not a reenactment. The film stays on the text long enough to be read, but the lack of narration is startling, especially given not all viewers can read old-fashioned cursive. Opening through a book was a good stroke, but the glowing watercolour backgrounds really give it the feeling of an illustrated storybook. We see the Queen in nearly all black from behind, great way to tell the audience that she's evil. Straightforward villains are more beloved for a reason.
Reveal her name.
Skin white as snow.
Snow White.
He didn't actually reveal her name, he just dropped clues. Clues the Queen picked up on, but she should still give him a prompt sacking. We have several types of character animation in this film. Snow White herself traffics in fluid, lifelike movement.
I'm wishing.
Judging by that well's depth, it's echoing back unusually promptly. Snow White herself isn't a deep or involving character, but she's not totally lifeless. But the prince is a bore. Ken dolls have more personality than him. Thank goodness he's barely in the picture.
I have but one song.
But he's a gorgeous singer, I'll give him that. Might as well say that the one thing that badly dates the film to its era is that Snow White and the Prince look too much like young actors of the 1930s.
Bring back her heart.
Other family films, take heed. Just because the film is suitable for kids doesn't mean it shouldn't be scary when it helps out to be. Stoic Shoulder Heart Warmed by Pure Soul, folks, is brought to you by Snow White and the Huntsman. The film gets through the exposition quicker than modern films. It may not be focused on character arcs, but it's all the better for it. Has any forest ever been as frightening as this one? Disney movie magic knows to entertain by scaring folks. Snow White goes from flailing hands and loose hair to lowered hands and normal hair. Snow White's hands are in the air here. Next shot, one is on her skirt. I love how they animated the branches to make them seem like they're purposely grabbing her without anthropomorphizing them. Snow White goes from drenched clothes and untidy hair back to normal awfully quickly, folks.
I'm awfully sorry. I didn't mean to frighten you.
She sure does remain prim and proper. That does make it more like a fairy tale or storybook, but it also makes her hard to relate to. Just because they're animated doesn't mean they have to be anthropomorphized. They may be sinning, but they're still animals.
Maybe you know where I can stay.
So, the animals are friends with the dwarfs? That contradicts their interactions later. All the animals are cute to watch, but the turtle especially. Look at all the dance-like movement of those animals, folks. No CG animation could make that so beautiful. Didn't know fairy tale rabbits could change into squirrels at the drop of a hat.
Must be 7 little children.
That she thinks children live here is really endearing without being naive. Effect animation in Disney has always been marvellous, and this is as good a showcase as any.
And look, cobwebs everywhere.
Snow White would have remarked upon the cobweb straight away, I think. She obviously has a good rapport with animals, but they weren't helping her clean at the castle. How did she know these ones would help her?
Just whistle while you work.
The songs so far have been fine, but Whistle While You Work is a classic for a reason, and my personal favourite. I dig how the animals act like kids doing their chores, going for the cheap and easy route until corrected. Talk about freeze-framing errors, that yellow flower comes from nowhere. That green cloth changes to a shirt sleeve. Hey, Turtle? Turtle will see your cute moment and raise it. Before we even know the dwarfs' names, we already grasp their personalities from their mannerisms alone, first of many reasons why they're beloved. It doesn't take an expert to realise Doc put in the jeweller's loop backwards. Even the filmmakers position Dopey as their favourite. Thankfully, they do so without weakening the ensemble. Well, Grumpy and Happy Shirt appeared out of nowhere.
Hi-ho, it's home from work we go.
This song, folks. This song. You don't need me to explain why it's a masterpiece. Oh, Dopey, your Turry slapstick will always be treasured. They leave the key to their jewels by the door? Regularly at that, judging by the hook for it. The dwarfs go from marching with their left foot on the downbeat to marching with their right foot on the downbeat. Hey, Turtle? Turtle will... well, you know where this is going, folks. Okay, the animals are just asking for trouble sleeping in the beds. While we're on the beds, there are 8 in total if you pay close attention. Talk about a goof with unintentional implications. Dopey's pickaxe didn't have a lantern when they left the mine. Looks like Doc's lantern pulled a Houdini. I love how Sleepy casually steps over Dopey for Dopey peeking through his beard. Those flowers were daffodils before, now they're goldenrod. Sneezy may not raise Dopey, but never have hay fever jokes been this funny. Sneezy's beard magically unties itself. When Dopey took the candle, the finger loop was facing away. Straight away, he's holding it the other way around by the loop. I'm pretty sure we saw Dopey slamming the door shut. Well, at least broken handles reaffix themselves in this fairy tale. For a few seconds, the dwarfs' faces look far more cartoony than usual, breaking their design. Also, wouldn't they have realised Dopey wasn't with them? Dopey left the bedroom door open upon fleeing, yet Doc opens it again.
She's mighty purty.
In other characters' hands, that would sound offensive or dim, so it's a testament to the dwarfs that it doesn't. This is the best example of the dwarfs' movement being more exaggerated than the other characters without being overly cartoony. The noses poking over the bed has always been a highlight.
You're Doc.
You're bashful.
You're Sleepy. You're Sneezy. And you must be...
Happy, ma'am. That's me. And this is Dopey.
Does Happy think she couldn't guess his and Dopey's names?
Oh, you must be grumpy.
I love the tone she uses when addressing Grumpy.
We're mad as hornets. Mad as hornets. No, we're not. We're bad as hornets.
Doc twisting his own words over is a highlight too, no matter how often it happens.
Oh, perhaps you have washed.
Perhaps we have.
But when?
Snow White's got to be a great inspiration to younger siblings for this, taking charge of older people who try to pull a fast one. Although it should be said that their hands didn't look dirty before.
Aren't you going to wash? What's the matter? Cat got your tongue?
Grumpy and Snow White's interactions are just priceless. He's the only one with a real arc, so they would need to be. The dwarfs' unfamiliarity with washing could be disgusting, but we love them by now, so it's charming instead. Had the scene been earlier, it would have been off-putting.
Then scoop up the water and rub it on your face and go...
It may not be an earworm, but the washing song uses such gently flowing lyrics in its meter that it's a joy regardless. So bars from nowhere.
Smelling yap with that stuff called,
Oh dwarfs, don't ever change.
I'd like to see anybody make me wash, if it isn't water.
Tempting Fate, folks, is brought to you by Grumpy. Where did Dopey go? All the dwarfs were surrounding Grumpy. How did the soap bar move towards Dopey unprovoked? Wasn't Dopey hiccuping soap? Character and effect animation combined to produce the film's best slapstick, folks. I wouldn't give it up for the world. Ain't those ribbons just a sweet touch? We've been away from the Queen for over 40 minutes, makes her reappearance all the more spooky.
Is the heart of a pig you hold in your hand.
Earlier the mirror spoke in the thee and thy form. Going by that, it should have said, "'Tis the heart of a pig thee holds in thy hand," instead. One has to wonder why she has recipes for such ugly disguises, given her vanity.
Thunderbolt!
How did she know she'd get a thunderbolt? The transformation is really psychedelic, and all the better for it. Does it need to be said that the design of the peddler disguise is wonderful? Because it is. Plus, the character animation matches. It was stiff and proper for the Queen, but now it's gangly and creepy for the peddler. Finally, that she's in full black now makes her all the more overtly evil. The silly song is another showcase of a Disney talent, a song half made of nonsense lyrics that is all the better for it. Wasn't the organ seat a bench before? This is what I mean about the dwarfs being an ensemble. They all get their time to shine, and you can't imagine one without the other 6. Having Snow White dance with the dwarfs should look wrong, given that they employ slightly different types of character animation, and yet they fit together like a glove. How can Dopey be playing the drums? He was on top of Sneezy. Same goes for Dopey clapping with the others. Hey, Sneezy? Sneezy will see your, well, sneezing, and raise it.
A love story.
Aww.
Anyone could see that the prince was charming.
Snow White is basing this off of nothing. Love at first sight isn't enough to cover the things she says about her and the prince.
Someday my prince will come.
It may not have moral relevance outside of a fairy tale, but the ballad is still a soaring one.
Oh, we'll be quite comfortable down here.
Snow White only needed 3 beds upstairs. They could have brought down the other 4, or 5, judging by earlier.
In
a pig's eye.
In a pig's eye, a sty.
I love how Grumpy says it wrong on purpose so Doc will correct himself to what Grumpy wants to be said.
Worry about us.
We'll be all right, ma'am.
Go right on up now.
I really dig how the filmmakers clue us in on what will happen straight away.
And please make Grumpy like me.
Aww. This fly keeps coming for Sleepy. Has it got a vendetta against him?
A breath will still. A blood congeal.
She's really channeling her inner Shakespeare, isn't she?
There may be an antidote.
She didn't think to check for a cure before poisoning the apple?
She'll be buried alive.
Except the apple will have killed her, so she'll be buried dead. She docks almost as soon as she leaves the castle. It would have been quicker to walk, rather than rowing that short distance. I really like how the fog effects make her blend with the forest.
Oh, God.
Can I say daw again? I'm saying it regardless. Daw. At the risk of dawing you all out, I'll just say how heartwarming this moment is. The masterful slapstick makes them among the most memorable characters of the decade, animation or not. Given Grumpy fell straight down, the bridge shouldn't be above him. We expect tangible objects going from being shell-shaded to paintings when they're still, but it doesn't excuse the pie going from bumpy to flat. But the touch of Snow White making Grumpy's pie first is a touching one.
But wait till you taste one, dearie.
Now that's a clever way for the animals to figure out what she's planning. It's absurd that the small animals could keep up with the fast ones. Watch Sleepy. I really dig how he's trying to sleep through this, and failing due to the animals. The comic timing is brilliant. Snow White knows something's wrong, judging by her stepping backwards, yet she forgets the dwarf's advice anyway. Buckle up folks, there's a lot of continuity goofs here. First, Bashful and Sneezy swap order. Next, Sleepy is with Sneezy on the deer instead of Bashful. Later, Sleepy goes from being on a stag to being on a doe. Finally, the whole order of the dwarfs switches here.
Her breath will still. Her blood congeal.
The callback to that line of dialogue is a nice touch. I like how the cottage gets much gloomier upon her death. Cinematic language at its finest, folks. There's no stick when she reaches the cliff's top. Mere moments later, there's a stick. It's a small thing, but Grumpy's beard is the longest of all 7 here. Up until now, Sleepy and Bashful had longer beards. Are the vultures going down to eat her corpse? I like that, but wouldn't it be under the boulder? Seeing Joyful Happy cry like this makes me sad, folks. Look, even the candles crying wax. And Grumpy was just beginning to soften up and all. Hands up, folks. Who had forgotten by now that the prince was a character, not a concept? It fits the timeless dramatic dreamscape, but still. Watch closely, folks. It looks like the shot was cut off quickly, missing some frames of her movement. Films of that era often had jerky editing, but it's been so good here, a moment like that sticks out.
Bye, Grumpy.
Aww. Last one, I promise.
Oh, Dopey.
I'd say that was appalling lip syncing, except that would imply the lips moved at all. What, no love for Sleepy? She kisses all the other dwarfs. I like how the chorus goes into a rendition of Someday My Prince Will Come for the finale. Many a happy ever after have been half-baked, but this one is too sincere to warrant any cynicism. I can't be the only one annoyed at Disney tacking on their modern logo at the end. I applaud restoration, but not this. Zero. Wow, I was not expecting this to land bang on the border. It deserves no less, mind.